For this video, I am on page 14 of your textbook, your workbook, and you're looking at a map of the United States, a partial map. All of it is not shown. The eastern United States is shown, and I want to zoom in on the northeast corner. So we're going to take a look up here at our New England colonies, and there are 5 of these. So let's go ahead and color them. There are really 4 of them, but there are 5 areas. I misspoke a little bit. So with your blue pen or pencil or crayon, highlighters, what I'm using, I want to color in this area first. This is now the state of Maine, but at the time in history that we're discussing, the 1600s, this was part of the Massachusetts colony. So we didn't have a Maine colony. It was part of the Massachusetts colony. The other part of Massachusetts is right here. So let's color this one in also. This is the Maine area that is now Massachusetts. And let's go ahead and label them as we go, and that'll be a little bit easier. So Massachusetts, be careful with that spelling. It's a tough one. Okay, the next one that I want to do in blue is right here beside Maine. It's this state of New Hampshire. New Hampshire was a colony that became a state. So let's label this state. Remember, these are proper nouns, so you need to capitalize them. Be careful with your capital letters. New Hampshire. New Hampshire. Let me see. I can zoom a little bit more. I don't want to zoom too much or we lose the focus. This tiny little fella right here is Rhode Island. So I'm going to use, I'll draw a line. Road. This is not the kind of road we drive on. It's a different spelling. Rhode Island is right there. And then I bet you can guess where Connecticut is. I had an awful time learning how to spell Connecticut. So I will show you how I learned to do that. I spell the word connect, like you would connect the dots. Connect, cut. Connecticut is this one right there. So these are your New England colonies. Again, there are 4 of them technically, but Maine is part of Massachusetts. So those are your New England colonies. Okay, I'm going to switch to pink. So I'll get my pink highlighter. You can use anything you want. You don't even have to use these same colors. But if we're all using the same colors, it doesn't get quite as confusing. So the New England colonies are blue. Here come the middle colonies. And the first one is this very big state of New York. If you need to stop your video to color, you're welcome to. I know that coloring, some people don't like it. I happen to enjoy it. And many doctors say that this is a very good form of stress relief. I agree with that for myself. So here is New York. In England is York. So this is New York. Still one of our major states today. New York was one of the original colonies. And then just south of New York, down here, is Pennsylvania. So let's color her pink, or whatever color you're using for your middle colonies. I just like pink. And again, I'm using my highlighters. You don't have to. You can use crayons or pencils or pens, whatever you'd like. So this is the state of Pennsylvania. Penn, and then Sylvania. Pennsylvania. And you'll learn soon how that got its name. And then we have New Jersey, which is sort of lying here to the east of Pennsylvania, south of New York. This is New Jersey. Just the word new and the word Jersey. And then one more is this tiny little one south of New Jersey. This is Delaware. When I was learning my states, and I had to learn the capitals also, my mom used to play these little games, and she asked me one day, what did Delaware? She wore a New Jersey. So we had all of those little games that we played to help me remember some of my states. I had a hard time with that. Okay, so these are the middle colonies that we're looking at. Okay. Then finally, I'm going to switch to orange and do my southern colonies. So we'll get them right down here in the bottom. Again, I'm using my orange highlighter, but you can use whatever you want. I do need to zoom so I can get in the lines here, especially with this one. This is Maryland. Today, a lot of our government activities are centered right here in this area. Washington, D.C. is in this area. Chesapeake Bay, U.S. Naval Academy is in there. Virginia is this very large state right here. And we won't color it, but West Virginia is this one right to the west of Virginia. So if you can remember where Virginia is, you know where West Virginia is. But it wasn't one of the colonies, so let me go ahead and label these. I'm sorry. This is Maryland. You just write Maryland. And this is Virginia. And then moving south, we have right here next to our state of Tennessee, this is North Carolina. I spend a lot of time in North Carolina. There are lots of really nice places to visit there. It has mountains on the west side and an ocean on the east. So just about anything you want to see, you can find it in North Carolina. So here is North Carolina. And I bet you know the next one. If this is North Carolina, the one under it, south of it, is South Carolina. Another one of my favorite places. Charleston is my absolute favorite city, and it is in South Carolina. We'll learn about it a little bit later in the book. It's where the Civil War began. So, South Carolina. And there's one more. Coming on down the line, we have Georgia. So let me zoom in here and I'll color Georgia. Georgia's a pretty large state by area. It borders us here in Tennessee. If you drive south, you will go into Georgia, or southeast, I guess I should say, depending on where you are in Tennessee. It also goes down and borders Florida. So Georgia has coastline on the Atlantic coast. Cities like Savannah were very important in American history. All of this coastline was important because this is where ships from England could come to dock. So Georgia is this very large state right there. And those are your southern colonies. So you should have 13 in total. Remember, Maine doesn't count. It's part of Massachusetts. So let me just count. I'm starting at New Hampshire. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So if we needed to give a main idea to this, I'll do that in just a second. Let's go ahead and call this the Atlantic Ocean so that we know where that is also. The Atlantic Ocean separates Europe from North America. So if you want to give this page a main idea, it would be the 13 colonies. These were not states at this time. They still belonged to England, but they would become states, and then we will gradually add the other states over time. So the blue ones are the New England colonies, the pink ones are the middle colonies, and then the southern ones are in orange. Okay, I'm going to stop this video and then I'll see you back. We're going to zoom in on each of these regions and talk just a little bit more about those. So I'll see you back for the next video very soon.